Hi, everybody. A little abrupt there, maybe.
Hey everybody, welcome to TFT, Tarot for Today, Divine Dabblings with,
Oberon.
and me, Banshee. Welcome to the Unhappy Hour. Well, into each life a little rain must fall, right?
Right, or in this case, the fourth quarter moon, which is an astrological reality.
Right. And so this is a time, we decided to do this show to see what may be bugging us right now. What really is getting under our skin and making us feel unhappy so that we can determine how to turn that frown upside down. So, on with the show. We're going to be doing the elemental signs of the zodiac plus the world. Dun dun dun.
Right.
At the end. And so we're going to get going. And Mr. O has the reading there. You'll have to read them. I can't totally. Oh, thank you. That might help. I probably can read them. All right.
I'm trying to make it bigger too. And biggin.
So I'm going to shuffle them and hand them. Oh, wait. Do we both shuffle? I forget. I'm going to shuffle them and hand them to you. You can shuffle and cut.
All right. So, like we mentioned, we do this for the elemental signs of the zodiac and then the world. And we devised this reading, actually, I should say Banshee mostly did that, with, several key questions in mind. And so we get that by going through the cards in a reading for each of those. And our conceit here is that because it's the happy hour, all cards are read upside down.
Conceit?
Well, I suppose it's just a fancy way of saying
Well,
we're
all
doing this
cards are read upside down because even in these challenging situations, sometimes the solution may be a little upside down as well.
Alrighty. So we are starting with the air signs.
Yes.
Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius.
And Aquarius. And our first card, whoa.
What is or will be making the air signs unhappy right now?
It's death reversed.
Kind of like the inability to change.
Right, right, exactly. Air signs feel as though, whether it's in the workplace, whether it's with somebody you're dealing with on an interpersonal basis, there's a lack of growth and change. There's a stubbornness, an unwillingness to, consider another path forward.
It's like you got nothing. And you like it that way. There's a great deal of stagnation or resignedness to this card, and the air signs may be feeling a psychic impact of everything that's going around them. They're just sort of feeling like, why bother?
Well, I don't know if they really like it that way.
Okay.
But I do feel that, it could be you that is just stagnating. I spoke in terms of, it being other people around you, but it could be you. And so if that's the case, then you're not feeling good about it. You're feeling stuck. You're feeling inertia. And I do think, like Mr. O said, that, maybe a lot of people just are resigned to nothing's going to change. This is the way things are going to be. Maybe this is about external issues, going on more collectively, but this is how the air signs are taking it all in.
So card 2 is, how are the air signs dealing with, or will they be dealing with, this unhappiness?
Well, I'm going to be curious to see what you do with this, Mr. O. It's a Four of Cups, of course, reversed.
Well, it could be that despite all of that sense of resignation, we have found some choice. I mean, even if you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice. And so the choice of maybe withdrawing could be represented by this card. Number one, the card depicts sort of a lone person out in nature. And in the upright depiction, it's sort of like these forces of spirit or chance are offering something to to that person to consider. But in the reverse sense, we could be saying, we don't like what life is offering us. We're going to choose our own way. That could be a possible interpretation.
Well, I think the way you're dealing with it, air signs, is that you're still trying to keep moving. You're still trying to get something done, but you feel like you're stymied or stifled. You're not sure whether it's worthwhile to pursue opportunities at this time or not. And so that's maybe why you're stagnating. It could also be that because people aren't changing around you, let's say, for example, in the workplace, maybe there's just your work has become tedious and very drawn out because nobody is willing to let you do things in a different way. You may have a solution and a way things should get done, and could expedite things for you, but others are blocking and allowing you to make that change. So one way or another, I feel like you're trying, but you just can't seem to find the way forward. You just feel stuck.
Sometimes those 4 cards can be about foundational issues or where support comes from. So, in the negative position, we could be realizing that we don't have those forces,
Got it.
that foundation.
All right. Card 3.
Card 3, why are the air signs' feelings justified?
What were you saying about support?
Uh-oh.
It's the Six of Wands reversed.
Well, you just never feel like anybody notices what you're doing, whether it's good or bad. I mean, that's the plain and simple of it.
You feel a lack of support and you feel as though you're being held back from achieving success in some area, that everybody is, or people are working against you or being indifferent to what your needs are. And so you feel very unsupported at this time. So yeah, your feelings are justified. I almost do feel this indicates to me that you really don't want to stagnate, and maybe in fact it is outside forces that are causing the situation, whether it's more communal, global, or whether it's in a particular area of your life, other people, like a partner in a marriage, a workplace situation.
With this last card, it feels like feels like they're being taken advantage of.
Yeah.
So card 4 is, how do we turn that? How do air signs turn their frown upside down?
The Two of Swords reversed.
It's nice. Okay.
Yeah, it's move away from it, or make some moves and decisions for yourself. Either set some boundaries and say, this is what my expectations are. Are you in or not? Or can we work something out or not? And, decide what to do from there. Make your move. Make a move. Do something. Say something. Speak out. Or move on. Move on to someplace or a relationship even that's more harmonious. It's more willing to be flexible and grow over time rather than, just stay where they are.
Well, swords, and this card in particular, are about will and power, either the will to hold back or the will to move forward. And that's what this card is saying, is like, get over those doldrums you have, or that sense of you can't make a difference. You can make a difference. You have to do something to do that. And this card says you're going to figure that out. You're going to use your will to maybe find the momentum to start propelling you forward.
All right, so for the air signs, it's obviously, one way or another, change and growth, it's almost like we have to people constantly fight against it. And that's what's going on here. I feel like people are fighting against change you'd like to see happen. You feel stuck, you feel like you're stagnating, and that there's nothing you can do about it right now.
Absolutely. It just feels like total inertia.
And you just don't know where, you've been trying different things. You've been trying to break the stalemate, so to speak, or the stagnation, but it just seems like you're not sure what to do, or you've tried a few things and they have failed, and you're losing your spirit. You're fighting spirit.
And I had a sense that in some cases this could even translate to sort of like going off on your own, whether it's, leaving society on your own terms or whatever.
And then, are your feelings justified? Yes, you feel very unsupported. Whether it's from a government that's refusing to support people or from your family, your friends, your partner, you feel like it's just, an empty victory to try to keep going, trying to initiate change here.
It
Let's
feels
put it
like
that
you're
way.
being taken advantage of.
And ultimately, you've just got to make a move here. You
Yeah,
got to make a move one way or another. Do something, say
it's up to your
something,
willpower.
and finally say, "This is it. This is my line in the sand. Either we're going to find a middle ground here, or I'm moving." So,
That's really good, air signs.
good
And you
luck
can
with that.
do this. This really actually speaks to your powers.
All right. Yes, you are great communicators. All right, so we are on the fire signs. Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. This reading is for us for
There you go.
the 4-week period ahead. Roughly 4-week period ahead. Goodness, I was almost feeling like we were doing the world reading in that last one.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah.
As goes the air, so goes the world.
We all breathe the air. More great fire signs. Get ready. Get ready to find out where it hurts.
All right, fire signs. Card 1. What will be making you unhappy right now?
Oh. So far, it's looking like the emphasis is on people, perhaps. It's the Two of Cups.
Aw,
Reversed. Oh, geez, fire signs. Wow. It looks like there's trouble in paradise here. It looks like some of us are having relationship issues, whether or partnership issues or friendship issues, even. This is involving, the heart, your interpersonal relations. And I feel like something is on the rocks. And so this is making you feel very unhappy. Maybe there's arguments, there's dissension, there's indifference, which is even worse sometimes,
how does this sound that the fire signs are more involved or more upset by the polarization in the world or in
Oh, wow.
society? And it's bumming them out, making them feel
Gee.
like nobody wants to trust anybody. Nobody feels like they should respect people just, because
I agree. I think by the end of this, we may not have to do a World One chuckle, but I think that's very true. That's very poignant. And let's see what's going on, because families may have differences of opinions and partners, even, of what's going on in the world, and it could be pulling people apart.
So, how are the fire signs dealing with, or will they be dealing with this unhappiness?
In a very non-fire sign sort of way. So, in other words, it's unhealthy. It's a Chariot reversed. Now, we spoke about stagnation in the last reading.
Right.
How you are dealing with this fire signs is you just feel like full stop, So even with this relationship thing, it's sort of like, okay, I'm done. Maybe that's it. You don't want to move forward. You just are staying where you are right now.
Yes, it's not like really stagnation, like sort of inertia causing things to suddenly or slowly wind down, grind to a halt. This is what Banshee says. The fire signs are saying, no,
Yeah.
no more.
Putting the brakes on. So maybe, in fact, you are the one who's initiated this. I mean, maybe things have gotten to a point where you have said enough. and we're stopping now. So whatever that means,
And I can see that. I mean, maybe it represents the idea that you're challenging this sense of uh, that disharmony, that total break with each other.
wow. So, are your feelings justified in the way things are going here? Well, you got the Three of Wands reversed. I think you're feeling justified because your happy little world, your perfect little plan, for your life moving forward or for your friendships, your partnerships, whatever this is, has unraveled, and it feels like, either we have to start back at the beginning again and try to let all this go, or I need to consider, my options here and move on.
Wow, that's a really good take on that, Banshee. I like that. It feels like a significant part of our lives, or for the fire signs, at least in this reading,
Are you talking about us?
have unraveled. The great unraveling, the sort of sense that opportunities are diminished or not possible anymore, that challenges that would do good things for us just aren't going to happen. And we feel really upset about that.
This is I don't know what to say about this, but how are you going to turn that frown upside down? It's the Seven of Wands reversed.
Except the New World Order retreat. Oh my God.
Yes, it sounds like caving into the mob. No, I think here that basically this card is saying that surrender sometimes doesn't have to mean a defeat. Letting go of what you consider your higher ground here doesn't have to be a defeat. Maybe you do. Okay, I can look at two routes here for you. Maybe you can salvage this if you're willing to let go of some of the things you put your line in the sand on with this Chariot here. So maybe that kind of retreat is in order, some compromise. Or maybe this is saying that, standing your ground is getting you nowhere, so why bother anymore? Maybe you should just let this higher ground go. The surrender of, this position. You have to determine, is it worth the pain you're going through? Is it worth it?
Right. I mean, when we're talking about either an interpersonal relationship or just our view of the world and the immense conflict there, at some point you get the idea that you're just going to have to let it go. You have to surrender that. A lot of times, a strategic retreat means you are going to regroup at some point and readdress the issue or formulate different plans altogether. So it could be about that either way too, if it's your personal relationship or your view of where the world's going.
So to sum this up quickly, and you can throw something out afterwards, I would just say, this is about some type of interpersonal relationship, love, romance, or other, and that it's on the rocks. It's been problematic, and it's really causing arguments, pain, or stress. You're putting a full stop on it. That's how you're dealing with it right now. You're done. You're done with the fighting, and if that means pulling away from somebody or just not talking to them right now, I mean, that's what's going on here. And then with the Three of Wands, I think here you're just feeling as though you're justified because everything you thought was so perfect and in place for you, you feel like you either have to scrap it and say, hey, can we start over again? Or, maybe there's a little wanderlust going on here and you need to move on. And ultimately, you need to set up your boundaries, and say, let's either meet in the middle here or I'm out of here and I'm letting this go.
Well, this reading also it works superbly well as a interpersonal conflicts or situations, but I could see where it overlays to maybe a disenchantment with what's going on in more collective groups,
Sure.
disharmonizing against each other, or being in really huge conflict. And so we can go into politics, we can go into religion, we can go into nationalisms between countries. So it's a pretty good reading, and it indicates, there are some lessons to learn and there are some challenges to be accepted.
Good luck, fire
Good luck,
signs.
fire signs.
Wow. All right, we've got a flood coming. We got the
Yeah.
water signs.
Oh my goodness, what could be making the water signs unhappy? Well, that just depends on the day, maybe. But water signs are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. So this reading is for them.
That was a silly comment, Mr. O.
Indeed.
I loved it. Okay, I'm going to hand them to you. Shuffle and cut for me. Oh my goodness, so many unhappy things going on in the world. Can't help but touch on it in these readings because it does, I think, obviously people are overly involved in the political things right now at the expense of some of our humanity.
There is so much struggle going on right now that it's hard to see where this could really clear out in an easy way. It just seems like it's going to take a long time for certain processes to be worked through. All right, water signs. What is our movie making us water signs unhappy?
Righty. I was just thinking of this card when we got the 7 of Wands reversed. It's the 9 of Wands reversed. And how funny is that? I think you're right off the bat, water signs, you're unhappy because you give up. You've given up on something. Whether you've given up on, like I'm sure he will touch on, world issues or U.S. issues and all the politics and craziness going on, you're giving up on something. And I'd hate to see it as, like, for example, some of you water signs giving up on maybe an educational pursuit right now because you think there's no point in it anymore, or you're just getting in the doldrums about the world in such a way that it is affecting, how you're responding to your everyday life. But the bottom line is something in your everyday life you're ready to give up on, whether it's a relationship, a job that's not working out, or maybe an educational path you do not want to pursue.
Well, depending on what the true factors involved in this, and this is something that may take a lot longer to work out, but I totally agree. I feel like whether it's, interpersonal feelings between people or situations, or the more abstract idea of everything that's happening in society around us, a lot of water signs maybe are saying they want to shy away from it. They're not certain what's really going on, and they feel sort of like taking a side view of it or being a little less visible in it.
And the other thing is, I think that's pretty evident in this card too, is in a sense, you don't want to fight. You don't want to fight the good fight. You're ready to just cave on something. So how are you I mean, that almost sounds like how you're dealing with the situation, but let's see what else we can get.
That is the situation as you're pulling back now. Okay, this help?
It does, in a way. It's the 4 of Pentacles reversed. So how are you dealing with the situation? You may be letting go of, and this is not healthy, I think. You may be letting go of something that truly was worth holding on to, but you feel like, what's the point anymore? So I don't know if this means selling things because you're fearing you need more money in reserve. I don't know if this means, deciding, like I said, on either leaving some dreams or goals behind now, whether it's educational or otherwise, that were of value to you. You're letting them go now. And I'm not sure that's a very healthy way to approach what's going on here.
It doesn't sound healthy. It seems rather monastic or something like that, like sort of just feeling like you are moving towards a period now where things that really meant a lot to you for one reason or the other, material wise or some other abstract even, uh, that seems to be dissolving. You're losing your ability to relate to what was precious to you.
And I know this is a very material sort of card, but when you think about it here, what is the single most thing that's the most valuable to you? Yourself. And so, are you giving up on yourself? Don't give up on yourself. This is not the way to handle it. Right.
Card 3. Why do I feel like I'm being called out? Oh, because I'm a water sign? Why are the water signs' feelings justified?
It's the Eight of Wands reversed.
We want to party like it's past our bedtime. We're tired. We're tired. Leave us alone. But no, seriously speaking,
I've got it, but
go ahead.
we've lost our son. You've lost your. Why you feel justified? Well, I don't know if this is a real justification, but it feels like you've lost your sense of purpose. You feel justified because now what we have said here, what you were targeting, what you were focusing your energy on, just doesn't seem to be working anymore. And a lot of other things that may be burbling up in your life now are distracting you from this purpose. You realize now there may be some other things that may be more, that may have to come to the forefront now over your goals and dreams. How about like basic survival for some?
Well, I was going to sum it up by saying water signs may feel like their goals have changed, whether they wanted
Okay,
to
yeah,
or not. They sort of feel like the soil or whatever they stand upon has shifted,
I like that.
and what they thought they wanted to direct their energies towards doesn't seem as valid anymore or worthwhile. And they may not even know for sure what those new goals are.
And remember how I said here about giving up on yourself? Don't do that. This could also indicate to me that are your feelings justified about that? Yeah, because you're totally burnt out and spent. You feel totally burnt out and spent. It's another aspect of this
So
card.
your feelings about what makes you unhappy are also expressed with the idea that maybe you don't feel you can. It justifies the idea that you don't feel you can recreate this energy or magic to go back to your goals. You sort of feel it's gone.
So, how can we, water signs that is, turn this frown upside down? Ah, Seven of Swords reversed. I can tell you one way, by being completely honest with yourself. Some of the stuff you're not being honest about, you're no less worthy because you feel you failed or you want to give up on something. You're no less worthy. So cut it. Cut that out. Seek truth here. And also, regardless of what's going on in the world or your world in and of itself, your dreams and goals, you shouldn't necessarily have to quit on them because of that. Don't give up. Don't give up, because seek the truth. The truth is you may have been feeding yourself some lies.
Something that you were probably not realizing could be realized in all of this. You could realize that there was another way of looking at it, that there was really always a different approach that you just decided not to take. And it would be typical for water signs to emotionally lurch one way when maybe there's always another, back tide or backwater.
So honesty is the best policy, and that's with you as well as with others. And so, do you want to recap very briefly this one?
Okay, sure. What's making water signs unhappy is the feeling that maybe they don't see themselves being able to support their goals or their initiatives, or they are in fact maybe trying to move away from them, and maybe they feel like there's a danger, in acting them, and so it's safer to move away from them.
Or give up on themselves, yes, and that's there too. So,
And that's the
how is the feeling justified? Well, you can go ahead. I was going to let you
Oh,
recap
okay.
mostly.
Well, so
Something of value
right,
is no longer, I mean,
it's a shifting.
yeah.
All of these cards represents a sense of shifting sand beneath you, like you sort of feel like everything has changed too much, and you don't want to cope with the change, and so you feel that maybe moving to the next card, your feelings are justified because you feel you don't have the energy to resume going towards the target, or you don't want to find a different target. Ultimately, this leads to the idea that what you really need to do is not look at those externals out there, the shifting sand, etc., but look at yourself and re-examine yourself and your values, and either realign your commitments with what you know you can do, or repurpose this energy somehow.
I'll leave it at that. Good luck,
Water
everyone.
sign.
Good luck, water signs. Okay, Earth. I can't ever pick these off of here. I think I need your help with that. All right.
Taurus, Virgo,
Picture shuffle.
Capricorn.
This reading's for you. We're going to find out where it hurts and see if we can get a remedy. I have my little mini me here for the world prediction. But mini me's been listening. Wow, there's been some tough readings. I have to say, these aren't meant to be totally happy. But I have to say, this is some
Well, I can't help
deep.
but feel that maybe world events and world situations are coloring what makes us happy or not, in particular this week. It's a lot of stuff happening.
Alrighty. Earth signs. There you go.
Okay, card one. What is or will be making the earth signs unhappy right now?
Not my favorite. It's the King of Swords reversed. Wow. I hope you're not this person, Earth signs. But the King of Swords is never a happy card for me. But I could see a couple things making you unhappy. Number one, you can't seem to focus. You can't seem to get your bearing on things. Your mind is very unfocused right now. Could it be because of world events or stresses that you're having on the job or in a relationship? Something is throwing you off your game and you can't make good decisions. That's one thing. But another thing that could be making you unhappy right now is somebody who is just, well, for want of a better word, a little off their rocker. They're very egotistical. They seem to want everything done their way. They're putting a lot of pressure on you right now. And they may be trying to manipulate you in some way, so obviously, this could have bigger world implications, but I think this is what's going on in your world, or signs.
I like the idea of this reverse king
Mm-hmm.
possibly representing external factors that are either personal on one level or sweeping enough to be important. But I also get the feeling too that there's a sense of a buyer's remorse here, and I felt that before I externalized it, like saying earth signs feel they've made choices that have been particularly bad for them. And of course, this could go into the greater ethos, the idea of what we've done in our politics or in our religion or other factors like that. But I get the feeling what's making people unhappy right now is they realize they didn't have a balanced enough perspective to make certain decisions or choices.
They didn't make good choices.
Card two, how are we dealing with earth signs or will be dealing with this unhappiness?
Well, whatever it is, it's forcing us, it's a Two of Wands reversed. It's forcing you Earth signs to to put some of your plans on hold, or to recognize now that have failed because you might scrap the plan because you realize it wasn't a good plan to begin with. You made the wrong move. You've made the wrong choice or decision. So that's how you're dealing with it. On some level, that could be constructive, because why keep spinning your wheels on something that's not going to work?
It seems to be a continuation of the buyer's remorse thing in a way.
Yeah, in a
The
way.
idea that we have to scrap some plans, that's how we're dealing with things, is realizing we have to tighten the belt in certain ways. We have to not do what we thought we were going to do, that maybe we thought there was, an extra trip we were planning for the summer or for next year or whenever it was, going to see the Olympics, whatever it was. Maybe we can't do that now. Maybe we have to tighten the belt a little bit, or think of something different.
I like that. So,
3.
are you justified? Do you feel justified, or why do you feel justified?
Wow.
And it's the Page of Pentacles.
Reversed.
So you feel justified here because you're kind of in you're kind of in a mental fog right now. I'm really feeling this because of the King of Swords in the beginning and this Page of Pentacles reversed. Usually this page is bright, astute, a learner. It feels like maybe you feel like there's nothing to be gotten from this situation. There's nothing to be gained here. But I also feel it's as if you're in a mental fog here, which means that you realize that, okay, so we were talking about decisions that might have already been made. I know that's come up. So if that's the case, you realize you were in a mental fog here, and that's why your feelings are justified, that you weren't thinking clearly. That kind of does fall in line with your buyer's remorse a little bit.
And I sort of think that, in a way, this card even continues that idea, buyer's remorse, because our feelings are justified. We feel we are stymied with our trying to make expansion into certain areas, whether it's new projects or goals, or finding out things, adventuring into, either personal mysticism, etc., or into the philosophy or the ideas of understanding world events that are happening now. We just sort of feel like we can't do that. It could be this brain fog kind of thing going on here, but it makes us feel like we're not getting the whole picture that about why we're unhappy. That feeling there.
Your feelings could be justified too because of some bad news you received in regards to all of this. Something that set things in motion for you and made you realize, you made some calculated some missteps or errors here. So that could be. So
Finally, how do we turn our frown or signs upside down? Or do we?
Well, it's a 7 of Swords again in this position, and it's reversed. And I think what it's saying is, it is about the truth. It is about knowledge and information being exposed. I think here you just have to seek answers. You have to seek answers to, where you go from here pretty much, and how you can move forward constructively now after making these mistakes. You need to find out something.
While I think that 7 of Swords is about the idea of finding out something, I also think it's maybe about the possibly grim acceptance of what I was talking about with the buyer's remorse, the idea that
accepting the truth,
to terms with having made certain decisions were not as good for us. So yes, it is. You're right. Exactly. Accepting the truth, grimly or otherwise, that we ourselves have to change this because we ourselves kind of caused it.
Well, I think you nailed some of these, Mr. O, pretty well.
Thank you.
So you can add yours in with the King of Swords because I'm a little foggy on that, speaking of foggy. But I would say that the King of Swords reversed oftentimes is about making poor choices or decisions.
Exactly.
And either you feel someone else has done that with you, or you are the one here. And I'm really thinking with the way this is all kind of going here, you probably are the one.
Well, we're talking about the possibility of buyer's remorse even on a larger scale, and what has happened with people who realize, their fates are shifting. They have possibly reacted with undue violence or force.
Yeah. And buyer's remorse are you speaking in terms of voter remorse?
I am a little bit, for sure, or at least choices in that venue.
So, you're just questioning the choices you've made, whatever they are. And the way that you're reacting to it, how you're dealing with the situation is putting your plans on hold now or realizing that they're just not going to materialize, right?
Right. There sort of is a scale back. There's sort of a feeling like maybe you have to deal just with what you have right now.
And what's behind this whole thing and why you feel justified in your actions is some bad news or some, unhappy, unpleasant news you've received. And what's funny about that? We can look at the collective here and just look at the media right now and look at everything and look at all the fighting on social media, for example. There's a lot of unhappiness there, and you can feel justified in, having to put your plans on hold because there's just no good indicators to move forward with things right now.
I think you're justified because you realize you can't really pierce the veil around the truth that's out there, whether it's the fake news or the bad social media. You can't find out, esoterically or otherwise, what is really the truth here. And that justifies all of these feelings you have.
And finally, how to turn that frown upside down is to accept the truth of the situation. You've made maybe some bad mistakes and it's caused you to put your plans on hold. And I think here, you can blame externals, but you really should be looking within and accepting the truth that you will be able to, you could make better choices in the future.
You make good choices.
You make good choices.
That's what I have for the earth signs.
All right. Well, I think we've been going a lot off tangent on these and into world issues and in a general
Well,
way.
let's see how that works out.
Well, let's see what we've got for the world. All right. So I think you shuffle. Wait, no, I shuffle for this.
First, we have to get a hug.
Oh, you want to hug Mini Me?
I do.
Oh, it's very huggable. I'm very huggable.
You're our only hope.
In mini or big form.
Where's your lightsaber?
Chakra power. This one is chakra powered. All right. Okay.
What a world. What a world.
Or shuffle, and then it's on you, Mr. O. I don't want to blame you for the world's problems, but you're cutting and shuffling last, so of course I pick up the cut. What is that? Okay, what could possibly be making the world unhappiest right now? X of Four of Pentacles reversed.
Serious questions about what we are giving up, what we are losing, that we feel is than the most valuable. And of course, from a certain abstract point of view, freedom, of course, comes easily to mind. But there could be a lot of other things too. Peace,
Peace,
the chance for life.
ethics, morals, our internal compasses. Where are they? These are all were valuable parts of us. But it seems like we're losing our sense of values. I really almost want to put
Yeah,
it that way. We're letting them go. We're releasing what, we've been taught in our religions or in our schools or by our parents. Well, in the past anyway. And we are losing that sense of our our precious humanity.
how is the world dealing with this, or how will they be dealing with this?
We're desperately trying to find a way to heal. It's the Three of Swords reversed. So
And remember,
that's positive.
these are collective ideas, so these are not necessarily any one particular nation or nations, leading spokespersons, etc.
What I'm hoping this means, and I'm not sure here, and it is ironic we're seeing this bloody card here because of recent events, whether in Gaza, whether in Ukraine, or whether in, the US with mass shootings and school shootings, etc. Um, you know, I hope we're realizing now that we can't avoid this pain. We have to heal from it. We have to feel it and heal from it. So it's nothing to run away from. It's nothing to turn away from, no matter who or what it is that's suffering. No matter what side of the fence you sit on, this is painful. And we have to not run away from that or try to disregard that or pick and choose who we're feeling painful about.
Right, the whole world is bleeding right now, and it means something to everybody that we have to accept there is pain in everyone's lives, and we have to be respectful of that, even if we're not necessarily able to help or anything.
Oh boy. So, are these feelings justified? Well, absolutely, but this is a pretty lightweight card for this spot, I feel. The Nine of Pentacles reversed. I think what it's saying here is our feelings are justified because we realize things aren't the way they should be. We realize that the conditions as they are today are making us feel very uncomfortable. And we respond to that in a variety of ways. Some of us, we just accept what is. Others of us, we just kind of put a barrier up and we don't want to see it, see no evil, speak no evil. Here, we want to be totally away from it, while others are really questioning it and wanting something more, something better.
There's billions of people in the world, and so it's hard to necessarily feel like there is one constant in all of that. But I think from that kind of collective level, the world wants everybody to have a sense of comfort, security, comfort. No, I'm sorry, I said that twice. Well, that's what I mean, comfort.
And upright, this is a card of opulence and wealth in a way, having made it, so to speak. And so when this is reversed, I think in terms of, the inequities that, many people have more advantagements, or dare I say, entitlements that allow them to be above this pain, or to allow that pain not to affect them, or they feel that they don't have to deal with that pain.
Well, that's a very interesting point. Card 4, how do we turn that frown upside down?
Oh boy, guess what's back? It's the Two of Swords reversed. We got to act. We got to move. We've got to act. We've got to actively want to heal what's wrong. Can't just talk about it. Can't just, keep saying one side wants to heal while the other doesn't. They just won't come to Papa here. No, you know what? You just won't come to the center. So we have to find something that we can move towards that will pull our humanity back together.
Right. Remember what I was reading from that one book about how people focus on the one when they should focus on the all.
Yeah.
And I like that. And the Two of Swords reversed kind of implies that we have found more or less reasonably a decision or a path forward, a consensus view forward. And now is the time to start implementing that.
I mean, we have some shared values to work on here. Nobody wants to die. Nobody wants to be murdered in a shopping center, a school, giving a lecture, whatever the case may be. Running for office, being in politics. Nobody wants to die. There's a shared value right there. So what are we going to do about that? How can we at least work together to try to be more civil with one another? So, and people are tired of some of the things that separate families, friends, etc. What can you do to minimize that? It's time to think outside the box, world, everybody. And as for wars, I mean, it speaks for itself. Why are we, instead of constantly talking war, why aren't we willing to talk diplomacy and peace? All right.
Right.
Well, okay. Briefly, so we're giving up some things of value, and I think they're more intangibles. It could be true that the world is going to have to realize that they have to give up some of their wealth. I didn't bring that up before, but I'll throw it out there now.
And I suppose it's trite, but maybe this is also about the sense of a loss of innocence.
Yeah. In a way.
And the value of common respect for humanity.
And the world is dealing with this in various ways of trying to heal their pain. Some more healthy than others, you know. So we have to watch how you heal your pain. There's no escaping the pain. Don't try to do that. Work through it. And then the Nine of Pentacles reversed indicates, well, the feelings are justified because people want a better life. Everybody wants a good life. And they feel like something is lacking in that regard right now.
Although 8 billion people are a lot of people, there should be some sort of sense of standards or common decency for how we treat so many people.
And how do we turn that frown upside down? I think it's only going to be through action. Words are fine, but you know what? You gotta make a move. You've got to move in the direction of healing. All right, so that's what we have for the world. You can pick those up. I seem to get stuck there.
Alrighty. So thanks everybody for watching the Unhappy Hour.
Thank you for watching. And if you like this, especially our world reading here, you might want to occasionally check out what we're doing on the new show we're starting, WTF for TFT. We try to figure out what well, you know what is going on. With various topics all over the map with that one. So anyway, we hope to see you again at another Unhappy Hour for about 4 weeks from now. Take care, everybody. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.